Hey Becca, how you doing today?
Doing okay.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks.
How's things been going with your class?
Kind of the same. Kind of the same. The kid is still acting up, and I'm trying my best to get him to cooperate, but it hasn't really progressed any at all since last time.
Can you tell me what you mean by him acting up?
Mm, Some of the things that he does is he doesn't like to do his work, and whenever I try to instruct him to do work, he'll just yell or he
Mm.
hits other kids, and he's just very distracting and aggressive with the other children in the class.
So at that point where he acts out, what do you do? So I get a clear picture of everything.
I normally try to redirect him to do something. So if he is screaming, I'll try to get his attention and say, hey, can we focus on this instead? Which he'll do for a few minutes, but his attention span isn't really there,
Hmm.
really.
So have you know like what subjects are you teaching?
It's kind of everything. We do reading, writing, math.
Okay.
It's second grade, so it's kind of just,
Okay.
I specialize in everything.
So, have you found by working with him what
hmm
he is more patient with and what he gets more frustrated with? I'm just trying to figure
Um,
out what he needs, and then
mhm,
we'll go to
mhm.
you.
He's pretty good at math. So when he
Hmm.
does sit down and apply himself, he does well at that, but that's few and far between where he's actually will sit down and apply himself.
Okay, so it sounds like you're frustrated,
Mhm.
and how is that for you being frustrated in the classroom? How does that
Yeah.
look?
Yeah, I am frustrated. I want to help him and I want him to
Hmm.
do well. I know he's struggled a lot. This is his second time in second grade. So I really do want him to move on and to be able to be successful.
Sounds like you really care about him
Yeah,
and your other students, I'm
I
assuming.
do. Yeah, I care about him very much.
So I'm wondering. So, what else does it bring up for you besides frustration when you can't help him? Because you want to care about him. I mean, you do
Mhm.
care about him
Mhm.
and you want to help him from what I see.
Mhm.
So, how does it work when you want to care about someone and help them and then you're frustrated?
hmm
Like,
I
how?
feel incompetent, kind of. Like maybe I wasn't trained well enough to handle children with behavioral problems, and it's
Mm-hmm.
hard for me to believe that I can do it.
So, how would you like me to help you today?
I'm not sure. Maybe just, I don't know, encouragement would be nice that I
Mm-hmm.
could do it because I really feel like I can't
You
help him.
can't.
And every day it's the same thing where I try and there's no progress.
Okay. So, I'm wondering, let's look at your frustration first, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to give you some suggestions. You sound like you're open.
Mm-hmm.
So how long have you been teaching school?
This is my first year teaching.
Oh, it's your first year teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My first class.
So do you have a supervisor that helps you?
Well, there's my coworkers and stuff in the leadership
Mm-hmm.
from the school
Mm-hmm.
that can help. And I have teacher friends who, when I was doing my undergrad degree, I did have they call it like a cooperating teacher. So
Mm-hmm.
there was the main teacher, and then I was underneath her, and she would help me. So she's actually in the school that I'm in right now. She's no longer my cooperating teacher, but we still get together because she's been doing teaching for a long time. So I talked to her about it.
Okay, so I think you mentioned her last week,
I did.
right? Okay.
hmm
So you have talked to her about this
Yeah,
boy?
yeah, she knows.
Okay.
She knows about him. Everyone in the school kind of knows about
Mm-hmm.
him and that he's hard to handle.
Okay. I'm thinking, so you're frustrated. When else have you been frustrated in your life that you've worked through it?
When I was taking my teaching exams,
Mm-hmm.
they have a limit of 6 times that you can try and retake them, and I took the test all 6 times just because I wasn't able to pass until the sixth time. So that was
Mm-hmm.
really frustrating.
And did you eventually pass?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay. So wow, that takes a lot of determination,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And perseverance.
Perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if you would be able to apply the same determination and drive and perseverance to this boy.
Yeah. It's just difficult when I don't see any progress. At least with the test, I could see my score getting better. But he doesn't know how to, the student doesn't know how to communicate with me because he is so young. So on the surface, I just don't see any progress.
So it's important that you see progress from
yes.
him.
Yeah, I want to connect with him, and I don't feel like that's happening.
Okay. So I'm wondering, because he has behavioral problems, right? What can you take him outside of the classroom? Not leave the school, but is there something? Does he like sports that you can connect with him on a more intimate level?
No, I can't. I can refer him to the guidance counselor, but that's not me interacting with him. I have to stay in the classroom.
Does he like? I'm just trying to get a picture of what he likes.
He likes the computer.
Oh.
He likes computer games a lot.
The games.
Yes. So whenever he is acting out in class and it's kind of destructive, like destroying the lesson and distracting the class, I'll kind of like make him go over on the computer because I know that he'll be quiet when he's over there.
Okay, so you want to help him. I hear your frustration because how many kids do you have in your class?
22.
22. And it's one boy that you really care about. Yes?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, it's your first year. Is he the only one that struggles in the class?
He's the one that struggles the most. Okay. There's another girl who's very chatty. But she responds well to discipline. I just think that she forgets maybe that I did tell her not to talk anymore, and like, so she's just a little chatty, but she's not hurting other children and like derailing the whole class.
Because they're second graders.
Right.
You know what I was wondering, Becca? What about his parents? Can you get support from his parents?
I've tried to reach out to them, but there's a little bit of a communication issue because they don't speak English. So that happens a lot in this school. The demographic is primarily like Hispanic, so it's hard for me to communicate to them, and when I do try, they're not very responsive.
So do you communicate? It's hard because you don't speak any Spanish.
That, and also they do speak a little English, it's just they don't respond. So we have like this, it's kind of like a texting app kind of by the school where you have the parents' information and you reach out to them and they just don't respond.
The parents?
Right.
Okay, so it sounds like that's a really frustrating situation for you.
It is, yeah.
But I'm thinking, you are driven and you really care, and that's the most important thing. And I'm just wondering, like, how else can you show him maybe non-verbally that you care about him and you're there for him?
My mom actually gave me a book, How to Show Love to Difficult Children. So it's based off of like the 5 love languages. So I've been trying to see like which ways he does respond well. So I've been trying to take concepts from the book to help with that.
And what have you found? Like, where have you succeeded? I'm trying to help you find through your frustration that you can have success with him, and it may not be in the time that you want, right? It may just be in his time. Yeah,
it could be. I think I just have to accept that I can put in so much effort, but it's in his own time, really. Yeah.
What other things have you come to accept in your life?
Well, I thought I was not going to be able to be a teacher, and I had accepted that after I took the test for the 6th time. I kind of came to accept that, well, maybe I shouldn't be a teacher, and I started exploring some other things.
Wow, that must have been difficult,
and
especially taking the test 6 times.
Yeah. I put a lot of effort into that, and it was difficult, but I did persevere. And I know that I can, it's just I want to do the most that I can for him.
So, how do you know when you're doing the most for someone? Do you have any insight into that?
I've never thought about that before.
And then I'm wondering if you could ask him if what you're doing is enough. Like, we know he's a behavior problem. Maybe that's enough for him. I don't know, because I don't know the boy.
Yeah, I've never tried that. I could try that. Just try to communicate to him when he does want to listen. I could try that. I haven't tried that before.
Okay. Do you have an aide in there?
I don't.
Wow.
There is a teacher who comes in to help with like our reading groups, and he does respond better to him. But I think that's just because he's more stern and he is structured, and he's a male, and I think that it kind of reflects his dynamic at home. Maybe like I think he has a relationship with his father that could be a little more on the strict side. So I think he does respond better to males, and I feel a little disadvantaged that I am a female and that he doesn't listen to me. But the reading teacher does help him.
Mm-hmm. So you said some interesting things. So this male person, teacher, aide, that comes in is stern and has structure. Mm-hmm. Are you stern? Do you have structure in your classroom?
I try. I've been trying, but that's definitely an area where I could get better. And I am kind of grateful for the experience of having him, because it is teaching me how to be more stern. But I'm still learning and practicing.
Yeah, I think it would probably be difficult to be a caring person and then stern. But I think it's something you can learn, right? And I'm wondering, when you did your student teaching, were you the same way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was always an area I struggled in. And even before my teaching career started, coming up to the first day of class, I was concerned about that I wouldn't be able to get the children to listen to me. And then this kid comes into my class and he's challenging me every day. It's like my fear was confirmed. It's like, okay, well, I guess I'm just not good at that.
Is that what you think?
To a degree, yes. I know that I can get better with practice. I just wish it would go faster.
So maybe you're a little impatient?
Yeah, it could be.
And you want results right away. Okay. You know, I'm wondering, it's funny that you mentioned that, because when I student taught, I ran into the same problem. I'm more of a caring person, soft. And then I've learned that, you know what, kids need structure. People need structure. So I'm wondering, where could you set up so he succeeds and you succeed and you get a little bit of less frustration in the classroom with him, and then he succeeds too? Because you mentioned the computer.
Yeah.
Would that be something?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, I'm thinking, so you both succeed, right? So you have less frustration, and he has success as a student.
Maybe there's some kind of computer program that could be like substitute the lesson, but I mean, he's going to be in classrooms for his whole life. So I really want to find a way to help him succeed, like in a normal classroom setting. I think maybe if I did work more on my discipline techniques, that could help.
Okay, and do you know how to do that?
I think I can talk to the guidance counselor about that, because I have met with her outside of class and after school to try and talk about ways that could help him. And she said that she was going to try and implement like a behavioral plan. So those are things that she'll tell me to do, and I try to implement them with him. So I'm still waiting on that, but I'm hopeful that that'll help.
Okay, nice. So you're hopeful. You're working towards a goal. It's just being more patient with yourself as a first-year teacher.
Yeah, I think I do need more patience with myself. I am pretty hard on myself.
So what I did in between sessions, I actually researched a little bit of support groups for teachers. And would you be interested in doing something like that? Okay, so when we're finished with the session, I'll give you that information, and maybe reaching out. Like, how do you feel about getting support from other teachers?
I think that would be helpful, especially from more experienced teachers, because there's always that one kid in class that's difficult.
Oh, are we out of time?
The time should be on there.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So, can you restate what you just said? Because I was checking the time.
That's okay.
For the end
I
of
said
our session.
it would be helpful to meet with other teachers, especially ones who are more experienced, because there are always kids in classrooms. Like, there's always that one kid that's difficult. So I think it would be helpful to hear from them and what they did and different techniques.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you don't give yourself enough credit for what you are doing.
That could be it.
Does that sound like something you've struggled with for a while?
Yeah, just with believing that I am competent and that I have had the right training and that things take time.
So, how would you like to end the session?
I'm not sure. I think some more information on the groups would be helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what I gather from, I'll just pull it together for you if you don't mind. I know we're out of time, but I'll just pull it together. It sounds like you were frustrated, coming into the session with this child, and then I think what you can take from it is, which you figured out yourself, by the other teacher coming in, he has more structure with this boy and sternness, and maybe the one-on-one I'm thinking helps too, and then that you can pull your determination and perseverance together and create some structure. Does that sound accurate?
That sounds like something I could do.
Okay. All right, great.
All right, thank you.
There you go. Oh.
Please stop it.
Yeah, stop.